Today we're talking about injuries, players overperforming in the VFL, and the next month ahead. Let's get into it. Day. Obviously, the fracture in his foot and he is expected to miss 3 to 4 months, but apparently he's progressing well and he's aiming for an August return. Let's say he returns August 1st against Adelaide, that would be 17 weeks post-injury. Time-wise, that makes sense. That's plenty of time. That's over 4 months worth of rehab time. But the question is, do they bring him back or do they rest him for the rest of the season and bring him back fresh 2026? Because keep in mind, say he misses that Adelaide game, he's only got 3 weeks of regular season games before finals to get game fit. Obviously, we want to make finals and be competitive, but the question is, if he's not up for that Adelaide game with 3 weeks left to go, and he comes back for, say, the last game of the season or second last game of the season, is that worth it, getting him in for 3 or 4 games where we're probably at a lower point in the ladder, not top 4, hypothetically, and we just risk injuring him again instead of rather rest him for the rest of the season, get his body at 120%, bulletproof it to the point where he's never going to have this injury again, because don't forget, this is the second time having this injury, and start his pre-season for 2026 earlier and have him fit and firing and ready to go at the start of next season. Well, you won't know until it happens, obviously, but yeah, I'm thinking that is probably more likely, just judging by the fact that he's probably our best player, and especially going into the future, and we're going to need him for probably almost another decade. So yeah, let me know what you think. Now, James Sicily, rumour has it that he's carrying a little bit of a groin injury or a groin issue, and he has for the last few weeks, but in a press conference earlier today, Sam Mitchell said that's untrue. Look, I don't know who's lying, but Mitch isn't obviously isn't going to say that he has a groin injury, then the opposition is going to attack him even harder. And the media could be making it up just to get a headline, just a story. But look, I don't know what to believe at this point, because he isn't playing like his usual self. He seems real off. He's shanking kicks like very uncharacteristic for him. But yeah, I think in the next few weeks we will know if that rumour is true or not, because he can't really take a week off at this point. The next 3 weeks, which I'm going to go into later in the video, are Collingwood, Dogs and Crows, which is they're all top 8 teams and borderline top 4 teams right now. So yeah, he can't really take a week off compared to if we had a Richmond or a West Coast. So yeah, let's just see how we go, and yeah, hopefully he's back in form against the Pies on Friday night. Now, I've got to mention some of the young guys that are overperforming in the VFL, because they are now pushing for selection in the AFL, and it's getting a bit scary for the rest of the comp. So Sam Butler had 42, 10 marks, 9 clearances and a goal against Brisbane's VFL on the weekend, coming off a broken leg last year. He's a small forward, but he had a run in the midfield, and yeah, obviously that's where he should be playing. That is ridiculous. 42 in any level on any given day, no matter what the situation is impressive, especially coming off a broken leg. So yeah, he's definitely going to be looked at by Sam Mitchell and the rest of the coaching staff about being selected in the AFL. But unfortunately, who do you take out to put him in? Because especially with Hardwick playing almost full-time forward now, unless we have multiple injuries to small forwards, I don't know who to take out for him. But in my opinion, I think Hardwick needs to go back to shut down the small forwards. The last few weeks, Gold Coast, Ben Long and Brisbane's Charlie Cameron, yeah, they sort of cooked us a little bit just because Hardwick wasn't down there, especially with Impey out the last few weeks too. So yeah, I think Hardwick needs to go down back for a couple of weeks just to settle everything down. Also, Husway, he's been dominated the VFL so far this year. 34 touches, 17 contested possessions, 11 clearances in the game against Brisbane's VFL. He's averaging 33 over 5 games so far this season, and he's probably their best player in the VFL so far. And Sandwich has got to find a spot for him, because he's too good in the VFL, and if he can't get a spot in the AFL, then he's going to get either traded or signed with another club. I think maybe Richmond. I think Richmond would be a good spot for him. Let's say Taranto or Hopper getting injured. It'd probably be good to bring him a player that's capable of getting 25 plus. I think it was a bit unlucky. He got dropped for the game against Gold Coast, and Bailey McDonald didn't, which didn't really make sense because of the heat. You think you'd want an extra midfielder, but I can see where Sam was coming from with Bailey McDonald giving run of halfback. But yeah, he's got to get a spot in the AFL eventually. If not next season, then I think he's gone in 2027, but hopefully not. Now, I just want to have a quick look over the next few games ahead. Friday night, we have Collingwood. Now, we match up well against Collingwood. They're sort of small and quick in the midfield, and we're sort of bigger bodied in and under midfielders. So we match up well. We smashed them last year, but they also beat us by less than a kick earlier in the year last year. So it's going to be difficult. They're the top team right now. We're sort of out of form at the moment. But yeah, we're going to have to bring it if we want to win. But we do have Finn McGuinness in our back pocket that can do a job, and Nick Dacos was sent it in the past. And also if he goes to half forward and, gives Josh Dacos a bit of a hard time, which it's going to be tricky because Dacos, both of them are just so good. But yeah, hopefully he can have an impact like he has in the past and get us over the line. Also, I think Blake Hardwick's going to have a big impact in the next few weeks. He's either going to go down back and do a job on maybe Bobby Hill or Jamie Elliott, depending on the injuries, and also against the Dogs when he's either going to go down back and do a job on the small forwards, maybe Riley West or someone who's been in form lately, or potentially doing a defensive role on, say, Josh Dacos or a Bailey Dale. The Dogs are going to be tough. They're probably a top 4 team at the moment, form-wise, but in saying that, their best win so far this season was probably just the Giants by 5 goals. They did go down to the Cats by just 2 goals in Geelong last week in a very competitive game, very entertaining game, right to the very end, but they kicked 16-17 to Geelong's 20 goals 4, so obviously inaccuracy was a big factor in that game, but yeah, it's going to be tough. It'll be a good matchup, obviously, but yeah, which it always is against the Dogs, but yeah, it's just going to be tough. Probably either a goal or 2 each way, in my opinion. Next is the Crows. Now, they're top 4 at the moment with the same amount of wins and losses as Hawthorn, 7-4. They are a top 4 team at the moment, but they haven't really had too many convincing wins. They've beaten St Kilda, Essendon, West Coast and North Melbourne, which obviously aren't bad wins, but competition-wise, they versed Gold Coast, Geelong and Collingwood, and other than that, haven't really faced anyone super tough. So in Tasmania, it's going to be tricky. I think, again, Hardwick's going to go down back, do a job on Ranky or Rochelle, one of the small forwards, and just completely shut them down, just to giving our guys, our small forwards, a good run up there. And, I think we get the win simply from the fact that we're in Tasmania, but it will be another tough game.